You're watching Through the Looking Glass with Dr. Jenny Klein.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jenny Klein, and I've missed you, so I'm back with another show for us all. It's about our feelings, fears, and fantasies, our pain and our pleasure, our problems and our solutions. It's a time for us to get together, talk things over, and think things over, and find out that we are not alone. Perhaps then we can all help each other make this life and our world just a little bit better. Did you ever feel really bad when someone you love is very sad? Let's take a closer look at just that issue. Hi, Denise, how are you?
I'm at my absolute wit's end.
Why?
I am just so over the top frustrated and upset. I can't even begin to tell you how angry I am too. But my cousins, very close relatives of mine, like a sister to me, her in-laws are just absolutely
horrible.
They're ridiculous. They will not let us into the house. They're elderly. And they're unable to cook for themselves, right? They're really physically unable to move around the house. And we want to get Meals on Wheels in there. And we want to get like a nurse in there to help care for the wife. They absolutely refuse to let anybody into the house.
And this is troubling who?
It's troubling me. It's such an obvious solution to this problem. And my cousin, who I'm very close with,
is sad about it?
It's
desperate.
Very, very sad. And just trying everything she can to help. I mean, it's her husband's parents. But, you know, he works full time. He can't be there all the time.
It's an impossible situation.
Oh, my God. And, you know, to go to court would upset the other siblings. And plus it would cost money, you know, to go to court to get guardianship. But these people are not taking care of themselves, and they're not allowing anybody to help. And it's just a frickin' nightmare. Just a nightmare. They will not, and I just think every
And you can't
day,
do anything about it.
No. They will not let, there are so many good programs that could come in, you know, that I'm aware of in the community. Won't let anybody in.
And your cousin is very, very sad.
Oh my God, it's killing her. It's just killing her.
When there's nothing that, when you love somebody like your cousin, and you can't take the sadness away because a situation is impossible.
It wouldn't be impossible if we could get the people in.
Can you do that?
Well, we'd have to go to court, and that's going to create problems for her husband with the siblings, you know, legally. And, you know, you'd have to get them kind of like guardianship of them. And that would create a lot of other, you know, it's like there's a ripple effect.
In other words, whatever you do is going to be costly to them in another way.
That's correct.
And you're going to contribute to their being
That's correct.
sad.
That's correct.
Because they had to do that.
And then they'll get really, really mad because...
At who? You?
Me. Because they'll think I'm interfering.
But they're telling you all about the problem.
Oh, every day.
And they put it in your lap.
I get phone calls every
and you're
day.
sitting there feeling bad about not being able to help them. But when you come to an idea like getting some guardianship and getting to court, which sounds like it has to be done,
well,
then
for
they'll
the standard of care, I believe those. I mean, the guy's crawling around. They're delivering food to him, and they'll let them slide the food in, but they won't let them in to.
Oh, there's something terribly wrong. And they refuse to do any legal maneuver.
They won't let me
They
take
won't
it
let
to
you.
court.
No. And therefore you can't, and they're going to continue to be sad about
Right.
it. So there's no way that you can help them.
No, and they keep talking about it, and I am exhausted by it.
Because you
And-
want to help.
Because I want to help them, and they won't let me help them.
And they won't let you help
No,
them.
they won't. They will not let me do the things I've identified, and then they say, well, that's mean, or that's not nice, or there's, who's gonna handle the
Well, I feel
estate.
I feel sad for you for being in that position. That makes me feel sad, too. So I understand that if you care about somebody, you're
You
going to
want
feel
what's
sad.
best for them.
Well,
Those people are not taking good care of themselves. It's not because they're stupid. It's just because they're elderly and they want to maintain their independence. You see that all the time.
right. But you can't help your cousin because she won't let you help them.
She won't let me do what I need to do in order to help them.
And
Oh,
you feel
God.
sad because you love your cousin and you can't help her because she refuses to help.
Yes. And we went through this.
So whose failure is that? Tough question, isn't it?
I don't even.
I
What do you
mean-
mean, failure? I could fix this.
She won't let you,
That's right.
so you can't.
That's correct. So I can't fix it. Pisses me off.
Is that, well,
And I feel really helpless. Because she won't let me do what needs to be done in order to correct it.
that's right. You can't help her, and she's sad about it, and you can't
Very
help
sad.
her, and she
And
won't
every day
accept
she's
the help.
calling me and crying about it.
And
But
you-
it's been going on for several months now.
Mhm.
And I don't know what more I can do.
Well, they won't take what you've suggested to do as the only thing you can do,
Right.
is to go to the court and get them, some
Right. And I don't want to
protection.
report it to the health department or to the senior abuse department because that would get some action, but then I'd be the bad guy. And I don't think it rises to the level of someone's going to die from it. It's just not the best way.
So there's really nothing you can do.
There really isn't at this point.
But you feel sad. Do you feel mad at yourself that you can't make them get there?
Well, I've tried to explain it clearly.
Well, you have tried, but there's two people. You speak and they hear, or they reject what they hear. So you have no control over their rejecting what they hear. They're in la-la land in terms of reality here. Sounds
I
like to me.
guess. It seems so weird to me.
Well, it is because they're caught up with, well, that would be mean and that would be mean, and they're not doing what is the only thing you can do in this situation.
A few years ago,
Yeah.
with this same group of people,
Mm-hmm.
we were invited out to a party at some of my relatives, not related to them, but they got invited, this other part of the family. So we were supposed to be there by a certain time, and I was at their house to pick them up at the particular time so we would be able to be on time. Just a concept. I'm doing the driving.
Very nice.
When I got there, someone in their neighborhood, a neighbor, didn't feel well. So they had gone out and taken the person in their back seat of one of their cars to the hospital. And I was like, wow, now you're taking care of that person, taking them to the hospital.
And I'm
which is
coming
gonna-
to take
I'm
care.
coming to get you so we can drive the long trip in my car. And now we're going to be late to my relatives who were expecting us. But what I said was, if someone's in the middle of having a heart attack,
Call the ambulance.
why wouldn't you call the ambulance? That's better care for that person. because you can die in the back seat of someone's car.
That's right.
But the ambulance has the little pumper things that you put on the chest, or they're trained in CPR. They thought I was a bitch. Excuse my language.
Whew.
They were so annoyed at me for pointing out that it would have been better care. I wasn't saying you kept me waiting, which they did, but that wasn't the point of my saying that. My point was it's much more effective if someone's getting a medical emergency and you think they're having a heart attack to call out the ambulance.
Obviously. It's not obvious to them.
Wasn't obvious to them.
Well, you know, people, it sounds like your friend's cousin.
Their whole, it's
whole,
my cousin and it's her
and
extended
it's her
family.
Extended family.
On his
it sounds
side,
like
it's
your. It
complicated.
sounds like your cousin is more into the drama of whatever her imagination says would be the right thing to do, to ignore the ambulance and to ignore the fact that you are on your way to pick them up and you want to be on time to your family, and into the drama of we want to do what we want to do.
And this was not a close
Which isn't good for the
relative.
person they helped,
Right.
and isn't good, you know, good point, and isn't good for the person that were going out of their way to pick
It's
them up.
thoughtless to me.
And it's thoughtless to the
They don't
person
even
who
call
might
me
die
and
on the
tell
way
me.
in the
That
back of their
was
car.
my biggest concern.
Right.
Can you imagine driving someone to the hospital? You don't have lights, you don't have any medical support, and they wind up dying in the back seat of your car, when if you had called an ambulance, they might have survived.
Yeah, well,
The guilt.
they're not
Oh,
thinking.
my God,
They're
I
not
would-
thinking of what's best for that person or for you. They're thinking what's best, not even for them, but they're thinking what's best for whatever image they have of
And
being
they're
the
so
rescuer.
wonderful. They drive anybody
They're so
to the
wonderful.
hospital.
And so you say this is a person that you feel bad if you can't help. If someone is sad, you know, that you love. Do you love these people?
My cousin, absolutely. I mean, we've been very, very close over the years, but she's got this like streak of, I don't know what to call it. It's just like really getting on my nerves lately. 'Cause
Well,
it's making me feel so bad that I can't help her, but she's not letting me help her.
no, she's
She's
invested
rejected.
herself in some hero thing or some idea in her mind of what she should do that really is not available for you to change. So, you know, she can complain about it to you
Oh my
a lot,
God, a lot.
but you can't help her because she stays stuck in her own problem because she's not dealing with it clearly. So that if you're sad you can't help someone you love, you got to understand that they won't take your help. That's not your failure. You know,
Sure feels like it.
because you've explained it very clearly.
Have
that's-
I? Does it make sense what I'm saying? They look at me like I've got two
No.
heads.
What you're explaining is absolutely clear. You can't help someone you love when they're sad about something and complain to you and tell you all about it. You can't help someone you love not to be sad because of the way that they are. You
Never
offer
occurred to me.
solutions.
It always sounds like I'm not explaining it right. I'm not
No.
telling them
No.
right. That I'm
They won't
not
drop their
considering something.
hero ideas. They won't drop what they need to do in order for you, but they'll complain to you, but then when you go to try to
solve
be
the
helpful,
problem.
they'll blow you off.
Listen to this one.
So don't be so
I have a
sad.
million of these
Oh, yeah.
examples, I think. Can I tell
Good.
you another one?
Absolutely, because that enforces the operating theme that's going on inside of them. Go
I
ahead.
don't want to complain too much.
No,
I
you
feel
know.
like, wow. So we're planning a family reunion.
Uh-huh.
And one of the relatives is coming in from Minnesota.
Uh-huh.
I know they're coming in from Minnesota.
Uh-huh.
And I have made some plans with them that involve them sleeping at my house. So my cousin doesn't know about that part of it because she's not involved in that. She likes to make plans at the last minute. She gets overwhelmed with planning in advance. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but that's her thing. So I don't feel it's my job to let her know that this person's coming in. Let that person talk to her directly. I don't want to get involved.
Right.
I always get burned when I
Right.
try to make everything nice, and somebody's mad at me, let them be mad at the cousin who didn't call.
Right.
Right? So the cousin comes in and we're all together, and my cousin hasn't seen the other cousin yet. So I say to my cousin Sarah, listen, so-and-so's going to be, Cousin Joe and Cousin Amelia are going to be at this aunt's house on Friday. Why don't you try to make it? She goes, I talked to her. She's not going to be there. She's going to be, and she goes, oh, just starts yelling at me. Oh, she was telling me how she was going to be there on Saturday, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, the point of the story is she was just like screaming at me. All I was trying to do was help her understand something so she wouldn't misplan her time. But I decided, I just don't want to get yelled at. I said, oh, figure it out yourself.
Well, people...
But constant.
Yeah,
They ask you for help. They ask you if you know something. You tell them what you know.
They
and
ignore
then
it.
they yell at you.
Yeah,
or
they
ignore
yell.
it.
Yeah, that's right. So therefore, they ask you for help, and you love them, and you want to be...
I want to help
you
them.
Want,
I feel bad that they're having a problem.
That's
I
right.
have problems all the time.
That's right. But then they sabotage it.
That's a good word.
They
It's a nice
sabotage
word.
it.
I call it something else. We'll
They-
use your word.
Yeah, but they sabotage it, and they
And then they
make
blame
you,
me.
and then you feel sad you couldn't help someone you love.
I feel very hurt that they won't let me help them.
Right.
When it's just very clear. It's like I'm solving a problem that exists, and they don't want to see the problem the same way, so they make my solution the problem and tell me I don't understand.
That's a very clear explanation. So what are you sad about? That you can't help someone who's, you feel that you
feel
failed
bad.
because
Yeah.
someone you love is sad,
Yeah.
and they tell you a problem and then they refuse your help?
Yeah, I feel like I didn't do a good enough job.
Wait a minute.
Maybe I didn't come up with a good enough solution.
Do you really believe that, or do you believe they sabotage everything?
I'd like to believe that they're sabotaging
Good.
my really good
Maybe-
solution. I just
maybe-
never thought about it.
Well,
Why would they need to sabotage it?
Maybe
What the-
it's not your failure. Maybe it's their failure to accept the help that they've complained
Why
about.
would people do that?
God
Why would
only
you
knows.
not accept a solution? I'd be so happy if I had gotten solutions.
You know what? Sometimes people find themselves short of a solution. They complain to someone else and they get angry at the other person's trying to help them because they hate themselves for not being able to help themselves.
Oh, they don't feel like it's a help. They think
They
they're
feel,
being
oh,
bad
you're
about it.
more than me.
superior.
You can help me with my problem. Then I'm going to sabotage that because then I hate myself because I didn't take care
Now
of
I
my
can
own
hate
problem.
you.
Now I can hate you.
And not solve my
Right.
problem. How beautiful is
So,
that?
well, how exhausting is
Stay
it for you
stuck.
to feel sad and bad that you couldn't help someone who's feeling complain
And
to
they
you?
won't get this if I bring them here and have you explain it to them.
No way.
You're not any better at explaining it than I am, right?
Well,
You might be. I shouldn't say that.
I don't
shouldn't.
know, but I'll tell you the truth.
Maybe they'd listen to you.
Maybe you have to explain it to yourself and say, I'm not responsible
I am
for
not
being for
responsible.
having my help to someone else rejected by them. They complain, I try to help, and they reject the help.
It's a vicious
Circle, yes it is. And the only person who can stop the cycle
It's me.
is you. Which means you say, oh, that's too bad. It must be very difficult.
Being
and
you.
don't try
To help.
because you'll get slammed for it.
Oh my goodness.
Who are you to help me when I couldn't help myself, but I want to complain? You know, oh, you think you're better than me? Who knows what kind of pride is involved in this, in their ideas of themselves?
Because I'm not being arrogant about it. Just I happen to be able to solve some of these issues. I mean, some issues I can't solve.
But you're very good-natured. If I came to you with a problem and I said, hey, could you help me with that? And you came up with a solution,
I like helping people.
I'd say thank you. But other people are offended. They ask you they complain to you, you come up with a help, and then they say, who are you to come up with a solution when I couldn't? So they hate you for that, and they dump on you.
Wow. That's really frightening.
They don't even know why they do that, but you're not going to get them to understand
I don't want to
it.
be the one to tell them.
Forget it. They're not going
I
to
just
believe
have to
you.
know it.
Yes, you
That's
have
what
to
you
know it,
mean.
so you don't have to feel so sad that you can't help people you love. And you know what? They're not so lovable, the ones you're describing. There's a part of you that just agreed with me. I can tell
think
by your
so.
face. They're not
I
so
don't
lovable.
like to, I mean, they're really being difficult if you...
That's
if
what
I separate myself out from the fact that they're my family, and I love them, whatever that means.
Well, you should love them. But they don't...
But can I not like some people, even
Sure.
if they're family?
Well, sure, because of their behavior. Now, if there's a fire right there in the room, or there in the hall, and you run to get water, and I say,
So,
what are you getting water for? You're
know,
stuck.
yeah, exactly. It's
You
like,
feel
to me,
sad
it's
that I'm going to have
obvious.
my house is going to burn down, but the point is, you try to help, and I put you down for it.
Right,
I sabotage it.
right.
So, what are you going to do next time?
I'm going to get out of the burning house. To be honest with
That's
you.
exactly
'Cause
right.
I'm not staying in the house while it burns.
That's right, because
I'm risk averse.
they're going to resent you for after they complain to you and burden you, lay it all on you of all their troubles, and then you're going to go out of your way to come up with a solution, and they're going to sabotage it. Because their pride is hurt that you could solve it, and you had a solution, and all you were doing is trying to be kind. And they didn't have one.
Not a great
Not a great deal.
deal.
So you can love your cousins, but stay a distance in terms of trying to help them, because it's always going to wind up this way because of their system.
I guess if I want to help people, I can volunteer at a clinic.
And who
Help
really
people who really
appreciate
want help.
who appreciate it, right?
Right.
Listen to their complaints, come up with some ideas. You're very good at
Problem solving.
it. But you have to have people who will accept your help and not sabotage it.
Absolutely.
Don't
What a
feel
great
don't waste
concept.
your sadness on people who are going to cry and give you a problem, and you love them and they're sad and you want to help them, and then they sabotage it.
And they keep having the same.
Don't waste
exact
your
kinds
goodness
of
on people who
problems.
can't take it,
Right.
because their pride's involved. I couldn't solve it. She solved it. I don't like her. And forget
That's
it.
so weird.
It's
to me.
weird. It's very weird.
That someone's own pride
Yes,
would get in the way of them accepting some help.
that they
they asked
complained
for.
for and asked for.
So complaining about something doesn't necessarily mean you want help
Well, you want help
from
but
others.
but you put it out to others to say how sad I am and how troubled I am.
But that doesn't mean you want them to help you.
No, because then you're going to say, well, they're better than me. They could come up with a solution and I can't.
So
I'm going to hate you instead of me.
one of the things I could do is I could say, wow, that really sounds horrible. I'm sure you'll come up with a solution.
Right. And they
And
always...
to me, that sounds so detached and mean.
Yeah.
If I complain to somebody about something,
yeah.
I'm typically saying, I have a problem. Let me tell you what it is. I want some help.
Yeah, and you'll take it.
But it's all
Consider it.
Yeah, it's all unstated, though. It's like I'm complaining, someone gives me a suggestion. I guess that's why I tell my kids all the time, this is not your problem, this is my problem.
That's right. That's why, whether it's your cousins or your mom, you can't change what someone's putting out and complaining to you or looking sad or whatever. You can't fix something that's caused by an internal mechanism of their mind.
Right.
I know, because this is my profession.
Right. I have to believe you.
And I know that
Sounds real.
the ability to do that is not, I'm only a guide. You're the one who has to change your mind about that. And you had a wish that you couldn't make come true with your cousin or your mom. That's not your failure. That's because it's impossible to do. You can't change the internals of another person's mind. They have to do it themselves.
And if they don't want to do it, they will blame, and they're shooters.
Oh yeah, they're just going to shoot.
They'll blame you.
That's just going to shoot. That's exactly right. That's exactly
All right.
right.
So I guess I have to do some more work. I guess I'll have to come back.
You bet. But you got a good mind. You can do this. Okay, so we'll see you next week.
But I can't make them do it, right?
No, honey, you can't.
If I bring them and they sit here, they won't necessarily do it.
No, they would
That's
have
so hard
to.
to believe.
Well, they wouldn't come.
Okay.
But you are here.
So true.
You are here.
All right. I'll see you next week.
Okay. Thank you. And that was another wonderful role.
I'm hungry though.
You're
Thinking
hungry.
about that
Okay, we'll go to lunch.
delicious food. Teasing.
Okay. Susan Friedman, you are so good at this show.
Thank you, Dr.
And
Klein.
sharing that with our public, because you are a psychotherapist in
Bridgewater.
And a wonderful one.
And you're a wonderful colleague who I've learned so much from.
Well, it's been a pleasure for you. Only a person who understands this could do this in the way that we do it.
Well, it's a lot of fun.
It was a great show.
So much.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank you very much for watching and saying hello when I'm bopping around town. And if you have a question or you want to reach my website, which is drjennyklein.com. I think I got that right this time. Just give me a call. The numbers are on the screen. And in the meantime, just take real good care of yourself and just keep looking through the looking glass. Take care. Till next time. Bye.
Dr. Jenny Klein would love to hear from you. Email her, jennyklein@gmail.com, or give her a call at 908-722-2933. If you'd like to see more, feel free, just go to drjennyklein.com.